In today's fast-paced real estate landscape, success demands more than surface-level expertise. It requires insight, adaptability, proven strategies, discipline, and the ability to take risk. The Agent Brew podcast blends candid conversations with wisdom from industry leaders who've walked the path before you. Think of us as your strategic pit stop to fuel your real estate journey. From the crossroads of the world in the heart of Times Square, welcome to Agent Brew Executive Sessions. I'm your host, Eric Zollinger of Realty Co. Agent Brew Executive Sessions is a casual conversation with executives in the real estate industry that are shaping the landscape. We have casual conversation about actionable insights and their strategy and talk about current events. Today, I am excited to be able to have as a guest, Melissa True. Melissa is a team leader at Christie's International Real Estate Group here in Manhattan. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you, Eric. I'm excited to be here.
So I always like to start with how I'm connected to our guests. And we've been in the trenches for decades here in the city. And just first, I'll read your little bio expert, and then I'll let you take it away with your elevator pitch so that you frame it into your best story of who you are today. And then we'll go back to your origin story. But Melissa True is team leader, part of Christie's International Real Estate Group in Manhattan. With over 2 decades of leadership experience in New York City's competitive real estate landscape, she has played a pivotal role in shaping and enhancing some of the most successful real estate firms in the city. Today, she is the founder of True Performance. It channels her wealth of experience into helping agents, teams, and companies maximize their potential. Her expertise spans recruitment, talent management, growth strategy, personal development, and creating custom solutions tailored to the unique needs of each client.
Thank you. That's quite an introduction. You said it all.
Well, so let's, a great friend of mine always said, you should be able to summarize who you are or what you stand for in a matter of like 2 minutes.
Before the elevator doors close.
Before the elevator doors close.
Well, you said a lot of my background, but in summary, I have been in the real estate space for over 2 decades. I don't like to specify because I was I'll get back to everyone when it's 3+ decades, but for right now, it's just 2+. And I really have found a love in the space of agent growth, company growth, professional development. And I think it's because I grew up in a real estate family, and which we'll get into, I'm sure, but I love being a champion and a cheerleader for a brand and or an agent that I can help be more successful for. So I've kind of carved out this, I laugh, I'm not really a titles person, but I've carved out this space where people are like, did you just make that up? I'm like, yes. But at the end of the day, it's been at times director of careers and culture, growth strategist, all of that. But it all ties into recruiting and retention, which I think are the 2 things in our world that will never go away.
That's very difficult to do, no matter what market you're in. But you have carved out your niche.
Yeah.
And you've exploited it, as we like to say, right? Because you have to know what you're good in and not good at, but then, really find and hone in on that small portion and then just run with it.
And one of the things I've learned and why I started the True Performance, I wanted to work with companies and truly only companies who understood the value of both. Most people get stuck in the recruiting space. We need to grow. We need more agents. It's about headcount. And they forget about retention. But the amount of energy that goes into recruiting, when you forget about retention, it's like paying rent. My dad's constantly telling me, do you enjoy flushing money down the toilet?
Right.
It's the same thing. So I've been lucky where I've been able to be selective in working with firms, and most recently and now with Christie's, where they understand the value of both. And not everyone does. Some people focus only on retention and think we've been around forever and we don't need to grow.
Right. I mean, we've all witnessed that in some firm or another, right, over time, which is just, I love that we've been part of the Manhattan or New York City landscape for so long that, after a while, you just see the trends. And you're like, oh, you just see it and you're like, oh, now I understand. Yeah. And you've been part of the executive side senior management for a while.
Yeah.
So I guess before we go into your origin story and everything else, I guess if we could just start off, what is the greatest challenge you think facing the industry today?
It's right in my wheelhouse. And this is, behind closed doors, I think every executive would agree. Let me rephrase. Almost every executive would agree with me. Agent clawbacks are unbelievably brutal. And I feel I understand the nuance of the business side of it, and I understand why they're there and why we're stuck with them. But I think they are crushing the soul of our agents. I think that agents need to evolve and grow. And if you really doing what I do, I really genuinely care about it, an agent's growth and their cycle. Of course, I want that to be with me. It isn't going to always be with me. And it's okay if someone needs to move and grow and change just for change's sake. This is a small industry, and the best thing I can do is help them make that change and let them know that the door is always open. And these clawbacks and these contracts have made that impossible. And it's hurting companies because we end up having to pay each other for these clawbacks. Well,
right. So it's interesting because nobody's really been open to talking about this.
No, and it's the bane of my existence.
I can understand. I mean, so we come from similar, I guess, perceptions of being in the industry at the same time. Mm-hmm. There was, who is now a behemoth, there was a big uproar when some people wanted to leave a company. And they said, no, you can't do that. We're and it's independent contractors that, well, wait a second. And that's really, G. Martinez, God rest his soul. I think that was the starting point, that just people were saying, we're done. And then it was the antithesis of that. It became not just golden handcuffs, but like full metal jackets.
I call them barbed wire handcuffs, and they're ankle cuffs too. It's And I understand it's like, unless we all agree not to do it, it's not going away. And as much as I'd love to say we could all get in a room and hug and hold hands and sing Kumbaya and drop it, that's likely not going to happen. Right. But the thing that frustrates me, and I think this again goes back to having a mom who was a real estate agent, like she worked really hard. Agents work really hard. And sometimes they need to work in a place that works best for them.
That's
for them to feel shackled in a space. How does that build loyalty, growth, good experience?
It creates more anxiety. And when you're under so much anxiety, you don't perform well.
And it truthfully, it breaks my heart. I talk to agents every day. And, one of the things that people laugh and they say that I have this weird ability to matchmake. And again, as much as I love that, I would love for everyone to want to work with me at Christie's. I recognize that not everything is the right fit for everybody. So I'm the type of person, I'll meet someone, I'll be like, I'm not for you, but let me introduce you to so-and-so. And I want people to be set up for success, to be their best selves. And I've found that doing that benefits me in the long run, no question. People are always like that. You were the only person who was willing to meet with me, talk to me, help me figure out my path. I'm happy to do it. But now it breaks my heart because I have these same conversations with agents. And the first thing I ask is, how's it going?
Right.
And the answer from everyone is, it's fine. What? That's horrible. Like, can I get it's good? Like, it doesn't have to be great every day, right? And I think it's fine because agents feel a little less support, budget constraints, market constraints, there are things we can't control. So when budget constraints happen or agent support feels like it's been diminished, and they also feel trapped, that doesn't create a long-term growth mindset for working with a brokerage. So that's where, I find that to be our biggest challenge. And to your point, not a lot of people are talking about it, but it's the thing we're all doing. And I'm working on it, but.
So if you're an agent out there, know that Realty Co., while we have wonderful and great partnerships, we're for you, the agent first. And we literally, you can come to our website and we're providing those benefits and services that you desperately need, but brokerages can't supply, like commission advancing, the tax, legal, healthcare, education. I'm really kicking myself right now because I want to say what is about to come by the end of the year. It's really exciting, and it is about to change the industry. So stay tuned.
In a good way, I'm sure it's going to change the industry.
Well,
some challenging changes. So we're looking forward to it.
So what I'll say is we're adding another spoke of service, Realty Wealth, and we'll just leave it there.
Okay.
And on November 17th, we're launching Realty Blue, which is the first of its class perks and benefits program directly created for real estate agents. So we've curated this incredible partnership list that is hospitality, marketing, wellness, and lifestyle to help you both inside and outside of the office.
See, this is the kind of stuff that gets you from it's fine to it's good. And maybe even it's great. Like that's to me, I just want to get back to a place that, it shouldn't be about ego. I don't care that it's services you're providing. I'm going to bring you into the agents and be like, talk to Eric. He can help you.
And she has.
I have.
You brought us into your first meeting. We were so grateful, even though it was torrential downpour that day.
Oh, so
but it was just, we really appreciate you. And it's really great to, the reason you've been around for decades is because you're good at what you do. And it's just been great.
What I do. I really do. I think that's a big part of it, well, I don't want to spoil, but.
Well, I was about to say, okay, so let's go to the beginning.
Yeah.
Why real estate? You come from a real estate family.
Yeah, it was a family business. One that I openly tried to avoid. I was like, no, thank you, not interested. My mom was a broker, and
where at?
In Palm Beach.
Oh.
My mom was a broker with the Corcoran Group. My dad actually still holds his license with the Corcoran Group, but he is a developer and a builder.
I was just in
one big happy family.
I was just in Palm Beach last week, so for my first time. And
well, I mean, to be fair, I'm a little bit biased, but my dad builds incredibly beautiful homes in Palm Beach, and it's totally a proud daughter moment. But I just grew up with real estate not being work; it was just life.
Right.
So, I rebelled and I moved to New York, and I was like, I am going to be. First of all, I wanted to be a wedding planner. My mom was like, "Why?" I also was in a sorority in college, and my mom was like a total loner. She was like, why? And I was like, it's who I am. But
it was that future real estate stuff that thanks you for that, for all the connections.
100%. I worked in conference planning, like where literally it was the cheaper chicken at the lunch breakout session. It was horribly boring. And I was good at it, but I was just miserable. And I got an opportunity to interview for the person who would become my boss for 17 years, who needed a new assistant. And I remember I called my mom and I said, I have this interview at this real estate company. She's like, take the job. I was like, do you want to know what it is? She's like, not really. I don't care. And I was like, okay. And so I went for an interview. He's like, can you start today? I'm like, no, I need to give notice at my current job. He's like, do you want me to call them and just tell them you're not going back? I'm like, no, that's not how it is.
Knowing who this person is, I can just totally see it.
It was amazing. So, and I started 2 weeks later, and the rest is history. But it was starting as an executive assistant. It was really intense, but I was so fortunate because my boss at the time was, sorry, everyone's going to know who he is. His name's Andrew Hyber. Andrew was and is super intense, but gave me the opportunity to sit. And he's like, if you want to be in the brokerage business, you're going to sit in every department meeting. You're going to pay attention to every office manager. You have to go to every office. You need to try and take clients out on the weekend. You need to understand what the agent's life is like. Like, you just need to know everything.
How awesome that he was willing to even, because in New York City, agents aren't necessarily the most sharing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, for the most part. But I mean, my experience was that you're not from New York, so you're coming in.
Yeah.
You have that great work ethic, all that. People are willing to open up if you're going to be part of their team and help them.
Yes. But I was so fortunate because it really helped me see which parts of the business I enjoyed and I thought I could excel at. And, I'm a big fan of strength finders. Mm-hmm. And I also knew very quickly which parts of the business outsource. I want nothing to do. IT, I'm not your person. Like I handwrite a to-do list every day just so I can cross things off with an actual pen. So that was
so gratifying.
Accounting, no, right? Like, but I started to gravitate towards professional development, working with agents, and understanding how to help the business grow by helping the agents grow. So I was very lucky to be in that position. And the timing of which was also particularly fortuitous because within a year, I got to see kind of the ins and outs of the company being acquired by, at the time, it was
NRT. Oh, NRT, then Sendant.
It's been anywhere, but those guys. So I got to see what a real estate acquisition was like on the inside, which was really helpful in understanding how to run the business side of things. You know, me wanting to help agents live their best lives sounds great, but there is actually the business side of it.
100%.
And I try and remind agents that, where they're like, what do you mean you're not giving me 100%? I'm like, do you want me to keep the lights on? Do you want to be able to talk to me every day? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's really interesting that when you enter the business, you have no clue what it takes to even have the doors open, if it's bricks and mortar and not. And so it's all a learning process.
Yeah, I was very, very fortunate. And then I kind of got to see lots of ends of the business. You know, from that sale, we exited and started a development company. So I got to work on the new dev side, which I loved. And then got to be part of creating Town, which, despite its what I still refer to as tragic end, I still, you know.
I mean, go big or go home.
Correct.
Right? I mean, that's one thing that if I have to say at the end of Agent Brew, at every episode we talk about, you know, do you give your young agent self a piece of advice? Most people have said, or the entrepreneurs have all said, I want to go bigger.
Yeah.
You know, even if it would fail, I would still go bigger. And Andrew Heiberger, I mean,
He went big.
How incredible to go from City Habitats to then opening up what was at the time. I mean, it was the precursor to Compass in as far as that big splash. And
yes, we had candies in jars first. I just want everyone to. I'm just kidding. We did though. But yeah, no, it's been an incredible ride. And then it gave me the opportunity to take a step back and quite frankly, then be a little picky about who I worked with going forward, because I did have a better understanding of where I can really be an asset and valuable. I think sometimes in our business, at least for me, sometimes ego gets involved. And if you don't, you know,
really,
you're not honest with yourself about, is this the right thing? Is this the right fit? So in starting as a consultant in a lot of my relationships, it's helped me avoid going down a path that isn't necessarily the right fit.
Right. But
it's also given me a lot more time to figure out what is, so that when I find that right fit, I can really dive into it, which it's nice. It's a nice perk, but that's what happens after you've been doing this for as long as I have.
A great segue into what are some wins that you're most proud of and why?
Well, I thought about this. I thought a lot. There's a few. And we were just talking about Town. Being part of the original team to develop and grow Town is my true north. It is the greatest thing I got to be a part of. And a big part of that is because of the people I worked with. Some of my closest friends are still people who I met from, I mean, we all coincidentally worked at City Habitats at one time or another. So all roads technically lead there. But I formed relationships with people who are leaders in the industry at Town that they're still my first phone call every day when we talk about clawbacks and we talk about how are we going to fix this. And all of that came from creating and building something not only together and collaboratively. There was really no competition early days. We all worked together, but also creating an agency that was for agents. Like, we really were thoughtful about saying, what do agents need? Not what does everyone else do? What do they need? And that was top of mind. So that is, I still use that as my, what do agents need? Not what do I need? Not what does Christie's need? What do agents need to be more successful? Because if they're more successful, I will be more successful. So that's one. The second is, to be honest, it's been this new relationship with Christie's. I've always been a New York City person. Real estate has been my own little New York City bubble. And Christie's was the first opportunity that I had an international platform to leverage and work with and understand and be able to bring that to my little bubble and really help it grow. So the antithesis of town, which was we had a lot of great people who knew New York. We were New York City real estate people. We had a brand that no one heard of. We were brand new. All we had was our people. It was hard. We would have a pitch package and people would be like, what? Who's town? I'm like, no, but we're great. I'm like, let me entertain you. We're great. Now I walk in and I'm handing people this beautiful Christie's presentation, and half the time I don't really have to say anything.
Right.
So having that and being able to participate in something that has global reach, and also understanding how we interact with the auction house has just been not only a new challenge, but really exciting to get me out of just our little bubble and figuring out how I lay stuff for agents from outside in.
So it's interesting being part of Realty Co. While I knew the inner workings of real estate, or at least I thought I did until now. And I wrote a whole manual on just understanding real estate ownership, right? Because you have all the different things. And then now you have Side that really is a brokerage, but yet they just is the back of house. And then Christie's is interesting because it is a partnership with the auction house, but yet you are all individually owned franchises, which is really individual mom and pop shops. They get to determine what they want. They're not just some big behemoth that is a real estate holder.
It's for me, and I a part of this is I can't say this for all Christie's owners, operators everywhere. But for me, having one owner who operates the entire tri-state area makes a huge difference. And for me, our ownership is there's nothing corporate about it. The back end of it, all functional from a corporate perspective, but our agents are treated much more like entrepreneurs than I'm used to. And I think it's also why we're the right fit for a certain type of agent who knows they build their business and doesn't want I laugh. Everyone always loves to talk about, well, my marketing budget is, I'm like, so happy for you and your 2% marketing budget. What do you use it for?
Right. And you can have $100,000 in there. And if you're not using it for anything, it blows my mind that it's like, well, I've got this. I'm like, and?
Have you ever used it? No. Okay. I use it at the end of the year to get client branded gifts. I'm like, that's great. I mean, it's at least good use of it, but it's just so wonderful for me to flip that conversation is I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to give you. I need to know what you need. And then we can figure out if that structurally works from a partnership as a business perspective, financially. But you're the professional here. You should know what you need. You shouldn't come to me and say, which box do I need to check so that I can do one of the 4 things I'm allowed to use my marketing budget with? I want you to tell me where it's valuable. And if it makes sense from a business perspective, we'll support you in that. That is like such a new way of communicating.
Right.
And it's funny because agents, like some of them like robot out on me. They're like, but what do you mean? And I'm like, well, what do you mean?
Well, it's interesting because we were never taught the right way to run the business, right? Because nowhere was it ever really showed or said, you are the CEO, head of marketing, head of business development of your own sales and marketing firm. Like, what? Well, no.
You know where it's said? In a lot of coaching. Coaches talk that way to agents. Brokerages don't always talk that way to agents.
No. And it's sad. And that's why people should have a coach or managers that speak to you as a coach, right? And so that's why I'll just be honest that I'm so happy to be head of sales because I see the whole industry being able to be elevated because we want to change the narrative and be like, no, come to us. You are the CEO and here are the tools and resources for you to be the best at what you can be.
And that's exactly where when I bring that in, I'm like, you're running your own business. When I ask you how it's going and you tell me fine, that can't be enough for you. And if it is,
you don't need to be in the business. Go be a baker. That's fine.
Do something that is more than fine.
Yeah.
Do something that makes you feel great every day. Maybe not every day, but most days.
So any transformational losses?
Yes. Actually, I lost my mom. It's so weird. Anyone who's experienced loss, I'm an only child. Well, I'm not anymore. I now have a 9-year-old brother who I love, but I was an only child for more than the 2+ decades I've been in real estate. And I grew up with my mom, just me and her until I was like 8 or 9. And my stepdad, who's my mentor, came into my life, and he's the best person ever. But I lost my mom. And for me, that meant losing the person who knew me the best and understood where I should be headed, even if she didn't force it down. So when she knew I was going to be in real estate, and she got tired of me complaining about my conference planning job. And that's why she was like, just take the job. But she had an ability to understand what I was good at. And she was just a really good guide. And that has been irreplaceable. Like, obviously not having your mom is sad. It's horrible. But there's this one thing that she was the only person on the planet who understood how to like extract from me and push. And that's why, I can't believe she's been gone 13 years now, but it still feels like yesterday.
But that was a gift that you saw that she had, and you were able, there's a lot of people that just don't see that. And so for you to be able to articulate
I think the thing that's the hardest about it is I didn't see it until she was already gone. I realized it after the fact. We were very close. We talked all the time. We saw each other all the time. But I didn't really understand how well she understood me and was helping me until I didn't have it anymore. So that's why it was really hard. It was wonderful having her in the early days of real estate because she was so involved and like so into it. She also, I will never forget my first week in real estate. I called her and I was like, Mom, they don't have an MLS here. And she's like, honey, I think you're probably wrong. That's like actually not possible. That's how we function. And I'm like, I'm not wrong. We don't have that. She's like,
we had the RLS.
She was, this was even before that. Like, this was before Street Easy existed.
Well, okay.
We're dating her.
I mean, we're talking about the DOS system that was a black screen and the cursor,
and
Real
index
Plus.
cards with listings like tacked up on boards. It was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But it was so funny, and I will never forget. She was like, I think you might want to ask a few more people because I think you're wrong. Okay, Mom. Look in the shop.
We're not realtors.
Yeah, that's the other thing. She's like, do you have to be a member of? I was like, nope. She's like, are you sure? Wait, Mom, please relax. I'm not that dumb. I promise. I might have a few blonde nuts. I got this covered. So yeah, that was the toughest part, is just like not figuring that out until after the fact. But I still kind of think about like what she would say, and I think I have a pretty good idea. Although sometimes I don't listen to what I think she would say because it's not the answer I want. And then I beat myself up and I do the other thing. And I'm like, should have just gone with what I knew was correct. But I'll probably still be learning that lesson for the rest of my life. It's fine.
So you are a very hard worker. You spend a lot of hours in the industry, all that. Do you have a go-to outside of the industry, like a passion, a sport?
Well, I'm a new obsessive Formula One fan.
Oh, really?
Like, Carlos Sainz is my boy. Like, go Williams. I don't know how this happened. It has something to do with Drive for Survive. I'm not even a huge sports fan, but all of a sudden, I'm up at 3:00 in the morning to watch Formula One in Baku. It's bizarre. So that's been a little bit of my outlet. But I'm a big reader. I've been in a book club for over 20 years. Still met both women. There's 7 of us. It's pretty cool. And I love reading everything. Like, I'm not a genre specific person, but I use it as my escape. And I try to be very intentional when I'm reading, not to have any devices near me because my ADD will kick in. And next thing I know, I'm
squirrel.
Yeah, I'm rereading the same page for the 17th time, and I'm like, this is not helpful.
Right.
So reading and travel. I'm really trying to every year assess like, what's the one place I'm dying to go to? And I put it on a vision board. And fortunately this year it already happened. I went to Mexico City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I was not there for long enough. I could spend a month there. It was the most vibrant, beautiful, delicious city I've ever experienced. So
then whenever you get hungry, do you go to Los Tacos #1 here?
Yes, I do. My boyfriend is actually part Mexican and he's an excellent cook. And he's from Northern California. Their version of Mexican food is way
It's very different.
So half the time I'm like, can you cook? He's like, okay. Well, yes, it was amazing.
So then if you love traveling, I'm curious, what is your favorite city in the world to visit?
I'm a big fan of Italy.
Okay, which part?
Really all things Italy. Lake Como is a special place in my heart. That's actually where my mom requested that her ashes get spread.
Oh, wow.
Which at the time really made me mad because I'm like, what if I need to like have a chat? I'm supposed to come to Italy? And then I figured out that she actually gave me an incredible gift because I have an excuse to go to one of the most beautiful places on the planet when I need to have a chat. I mean, I don't do it that often, but I love Florence. As far as cities go, Florence, I think, is just an epicenter of food and art and culture. And I love listening to people speak Italian. I tried to learn. I did Duolingo for 412 days. And
oh, wow.
I've got like 3 phrases. It didn't go well. I don't know why. I tried though.
Well, I'm just realizing now that because I didn't speak to you for a very long time because I moved away and then I came back, but you did a great open house event because you were just opening up your office at Christie's Flatiron. You did a happy hour of wines around the world. It was brilliant. Yeah. And it was so incredible.
They were actually wines from all of the regions where Christie's has a presence. That's a wine region. I was trying to be like cute. I don't know that.
But no, you were very,
enjoying the wine.
I picked up on it and I'm like, I can't wait to go. And it was very exciting. And what I loved about it is that I saw people I hadn't seen from all the different firms. I mean, it was recruiting genius 101, but
to be honest,
but that wasn't your approach. You just wanted to bring people together, and I really appreciated that.
And the feedback I got from that has led to, I now do it quarterly, curated quarterly. And we just did one with our team from Portugal, the Christie's team from Portugal. They came and did a presentation. We had Portuguese wine, we had food. But it's what I'm finding in our industry right now is the recruiting piece of it is relationships, and people are going to work where they want to work and who they're going to work with and who can get them out of their current agreements. That all kind of works itself out.
Right.
We can't do it. For a lot of you, I'm sorry. It's not that we don't love you, but we can't get you out.
Yeah.
It's tough. But I found that in conjunction with the I'm fine, it's fine question, agents are, this is not only a tough business, it's a lonely business. Mm-hmm. It can feel, and COVID was it is amazing to me what real estate agents were able to accomplish during that time period. And it taught everyone that there's a lot we can do from home. That doesn't mean that we should. Right. And I'm a big believer that I think agents and leadership, executives, we are all craving community. It's just, right. We can't be isolated anymore. And I am good friends with so many people at so many different firms. So I just thought, I have this space. Why not just J-Wing? Right. And the feedback I got from that first one, people are like, can we do that again? And I'm like, sure. I'm like, Ilya, would you mind if I just hosted an event here every quarter? He's like, no, go ahead. It's wonderful. I love it. And it's fun because it gives people that chance to reconnect. And it doesn't matter where you work. We're all in the same business. And we've all been doing this a long time. It's nice to have like a friendly chat, not like some hostile negotiation when you haven't seen the person in real life in 5 years. So I will continue to do them, but it's just a nice way to get people together and remind people that there is value in showing up in person.
Yes. And let's play the gratitude game, which is basically rose, thorn, bud. But because we are at the Agent Brew,
which, by the way, love that.
Yes. And so we like to just do a splash of coffee. Infused coffee, I should say. So it is the aroma. You know, when you're brewing coffee in the morning, you have that fresh aroma. It gets you out of bed. So what gets you out of bed?
This is interesting because it has nothing to do with real estate. I'm sorry to say.
No, it's fine.
I recently moved to Dumbo.
Okay.
Living in the financial district for 17 years.
That's a big move. I mean, it's across the river, but that's
it's huge. I mean, I couldn't, when I told people I lived in Brooklyn, I was like, I didn't even know what I was doing. But I wake up every day because I do a walkabout in the morning. I discover cool stuff. I've never spent so much time in Brooklyn Heights and Carroll Gardens and Park Slope. And I just walk and I discover something fun and new. I try to go to a different coffee shop, speaking of brew, and literally explore different coffee shops and go on walkabouts. It has been the coolest thing to discover. After 25 years in New York City, I'm discovering a whole new world. And I know I'm late to the party. I get it. But it's my new world. And every day I wake up and I'm like, this is so fun.
Isn't it great too? Because if it's in the morning, I mean, yes, there's rush hour and that, but So you see the world in a very different perspective.
And early in the morning in Dumbo, at least, it's real quiet because the tourists have not. I happen to live on the street where everyone takes the picture of the wedge. Taken at least, you're welcome to all the tourists. I've taken your picture at least 7,000 times now, but there's no cars on the street. There's no people out yet. It's totally quiet. And so you actually do get a minute to collect your thoughts. The only thing you hear is like the train rumbled on the Manhattan Bridge, but that's kind of nice too.
That's fun.
I walk down to the water. I'm like, should I skip rocks? It's a surreal experience, and it's been wonderful.
So then after the aroma, you actually have the brew. It's that first cup of coffee. It sustains you. It gets you going. So one might say what is your why?
For me, it's my why. It goes back to real estate. I love doing what I do because I love helping agents win. It really does go back to the agents. Even though at the end of the day, I work for Christie's, my philosophy has always been when agents win, the companies win. And so like, I will tell agents, like, you want me to go on a pitch with you? What do you need me to do? Because I get so excited when I see them succeed, even if I had nothing to do with it. I like being able to share in that success and celebrate it with them. And I also lament when it doesn't always succeed. And that's okay.
Would you say, our industry doesn't necessarily have the best reputation? Shocking. But the older I get, the more I realize, to what you just said, I love to see friends succeed. Yeah. And Ben Willig just happened to give a speech at the Forbes Global Properties event in Palm Beach, and he knocked it out of the park. I was so excited, so happy for him. And it's just like, I love to see good people succeed. Yeah. And genuinely be happy for them, because there's been a lot of toxicity. Yes. And certain companies thrive off of, why did they get that? Or why did they get chosen? It's like, why don't you, it has to be about culture. Yeah.
So a big part of, I'm very fortunate that I get to leverage Christie's as a platform, but I'm really building an office and a culture. And you can be intentional when you aren't saddled with inheriting something. You can be intentional in who's going to be the right fit, not just because they're successful and they've been doing this for 20 years and they understand Christie's brand, but who wants to be part of what we're building. Right. And it's okay if that's not everybody, but it's nice to be able to be a little picky and say it's not everybody, because I don't want any toxicity. I want people to want to come to work. I want to give them reasons to come to work again. Not just, wine and cheese after hours.
Although that's great too.
I understand it. I've seen more collaboration happen over a glass of wine at the end of the day than during a sales office meeting. So whatever works, I'll do it.
One could say I am here at Realty Co because of a glass of wine or two. So, so to take it to the grinds, they're messy. They get all over everything. So it's like a thorn of the gratitude game. So are there any frustrations right now that
I've said it before, and it is the one thing that if I can find a platform to make it my mission to fix agent agreements and these egregious clawbacks, it keeps me up at night because it infuriates me.
I don't think agents even realize or read the dotted line or the small print, because that's really shocking. And it's sad that that the companies want to do this to the agents. It's like, it's crystal clear. You clearly don't like us, or you're willing to give everything to get us here. But then if we're not growing or giving you what you want, you want it all. It's shocking.
Yeah. Well, and it's hard because, I've consulted with companies where I've looked at their agreements and they don't have anything in there. And part of me is like, oh, this is so nice. But I'm like, you're a sitting target.
Right.
You can't be the only one, because then people can take agents from you at no recourse or consequence, but you can't take anyone from anywhere else. It's unaffordable. Right. So I understand both sides of it. And I even understand, listen, if you're an agent and you're leaving and there's business that's still on the table, I'm going to drop your split.
Right. That's normal. But that's normal.
If I incentivized you, if I wrote you a check for however much money you say I wrote the check for, it's not really as much as people say it, that's fine. And I'm going to write you this check because I believe in you and I'm incentivizing you to come here. And if you leave within 3 years, within 5 years, I need that money back. Even that, I can stomach.
Understand, right?
Right? Like you're taking that chance and you deserve to be repaid for that if it doesn't work out.
But it is a contract that has a start and an end date.
Correct.
So if you lived up to your contract, you finish the terms. No, you can't say after that time, then you have to pay back all this money, 50%. And
yes, that's where it.
That's where I don't understand. Like, well,
when we as a brokerage, and it's all of us. Like I am not. We're all doing the same thing.
Right.
We just need to stop doing it, but we all have to agree to stop doing it together. And I can hope. I think peace in the Middle East is probably more likely than all of the real estate agencies.
And let's keep our fingers crossed. Like let's up. Well, yeah, we don't need to go down that road because I just heard that it all fell apart basically. So,
but it's really the piece that gets me is when you've shared in success with an agent who is your partner, and they need to move on, and that stinks. That's not fun.
It's not fun for anybody. It's just it mirrors real life relationships.
But it's life. It happens.
It happens.
Right? And then I'm going to go back into the pocket of that person for the last 3 years who was my partner, who was my business partner, and be like, well, now you owe me all this back too. To me, how am I ever keeping the door open to want to work with it?
Right.
It feels horrible.
Or trust, or any you just eroded everything. Correct. That.
So it's the grinds. It's everywhere. It's all over my kitchen counter. I can't escape it. And it's like my soapbox that I will figure out a way for it to be less awful. I don't know that I can get rid of it, but I just want it to be a little less horrible for
right.
kids.
Well, let's change the energy and the tide to be the fresh beans.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to? Is there a current project or something you're about to launch?
There is something I'm working on, but it's a little too early to say. But
okay.
I will say the thing that I'm most excited about, in my first 6 months working with Christie's was just learning who they are. And,
right.
I'm someone who needs to understand what I'm promoting very, very well. Otherwise, like I'm, to be honest, like that's where I can't sell things I don't believe in.
100%.
I hate to say that. Like we're supposed to be able to sell ice to Eskimos. I can't. I need to know everything about it. And in learning that, I'm really, really excited to take this historic brand and use everything I've learned and help it grow in New York City. Like that is so exciting to me because I know exactly who this is the right fit for, that this is going to be a good business opportunity for. I also know that I'm not trying to make it huge. I don't need thousands of it. Like that's not at all what we're doing.
Christie's is a niche,
yes.
Right? They were started as a niche auction house, an art house. Yeah. So it only stands to reason that it's not owned by a conglomerate. It's being brought in bespokely and exclusively and intimately.
And I'm super excited to be able to help that grow. The other areas in the tri-state were already huge, but as you and I both know, New York City marches to the beat of its own drum when it comes to the real estate industry. So it's been so refreshing and fun to be able to walk into the room with all of the leadership team and say, this is how we need to do things here. I know it worked for you there. This is how it works in New York. And for them to say, great, let's do that. And I don't get a lot of why. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Let's have another meeting to talk about it. We'll revisit it. Let's circle back in 6 months. I don't want us to pull back. I want to do it now because I think there's room for it. So that really excites. That's, it's a little bit of what gets me out of bed aside from my walkabouts. Right. But I'm really just excited at the prospect of, I think there is a niche in our market. I think there's room for what Christie's provides. And I'm excited to expose people to that in a good way.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or the future? Like if you had to, dream boldly. Let me rephrase, because that can always be, awkward because you don't like, well, where will I be? I don't know. But what would success? How would you define success? for yourself.
Big asterisk, we have no clawbacks. I mean, I would retire. I would do a happy dance through Times Square, cartwheels and all, and embarrass myself. But to me, it's as long as I know that in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, I'm going to be working in the real estate space.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be working in a growth mindset, which is both, size of company, sophistication of company,
Mm-hmm.
leveling people up, and helping the agents grow their business. And that can be expanding professional development. To me, it's just the idea of growth combined with evolution, right? Like I
growth combined with evolution. I like that.
There's a lot, so many buzzword AI and Fair Act and change is inevitable. It's going to happen every day to us. And I think being part of companies that are willing to not bury their heads in the sand and say, okay, it's coming. Let's do something about it. Or let's actively choose to not do something about it because we actually don't think that's going to be a long-term issue. And just being part of that dialogue, I see myself staying in leadership space. I also think if we're talking about dreaming big on the personal side, and I do spend a little bit of time in Northern California, and I like being able to go there even if it's for a long weekend every month, because it is...
Which part?
The East Bay, San Francisco.
Okay. Yeah.
I love New York. I could never leave New York, but going there and waking up to birds chirping versus sirens and chaos, it's just a good reset. So if I could, in a perfect world, still work as much as I do and still love working, but get to spend some time there regularly, I think it would be a good... I don't want to say work-life balance, because let's be honest, that doesn't exist.
There is no balance. It's a teeter, as Tony Robbins says, balance is boring. Like, teeter-tottering, there's got to be a fluctuation.
I found it's a good reset for me, and it gives me good perspective on like what's really important and how to look at things. And so if
it refuels you, it reinvigorates.
If I can make that routine and regular, which means growing Christie's to where I want it to within 5 years so that I can make that routine regular, then yes, that's probably the real goal.
So I like to end every episode with the same question. It's my favorite part. If you could give your young agent self a piece of advice, not today's agents, but you yourself.
It's don't play scared.
Don't play scared.
Yeah.
Elaborate on that.
I hesitated a lot. And I think a lot of people new to our industry hesitate. Am I doing this right? Should I try this? Is it worth it?
Take the risk.
Yes. I played scared a lot, and I deferred to other people's opinions because I was scared to voice my own. And it took me longer to find my voice than I think it should have. And I would have told myself like, no, you have a good idea. Say something. Yell it if you need to. And I think, I think a lot of people do that, but I would tell myself, and by the way, I still tell myself that sometimes. I'm not above giving myself a little pep talk in the mirror. Like, what are we going to do today? And a lot of times don't be scared. Sometimes I've been working in this business a really long time, and there are still agents where I'm like, oh, I don't really know them. I would never just call them and want to get what?
Why? Why not?
And I still have to remind myself, I'm like, Melissa, what's the word? What is going to happen? They're going to hang up and tell you they never want to talk to you again. But it's that fear. I think it's probably a little fear of rejection. Also be a little fear of failure. But I still have to remind myself to not play scared. So I wish I had ingrained it in myself at a much younger age. I might not still be playing catch up now.
And I share with you that's always been mine. It's like when I look back, I'm like, what was I afraid of? And why not? And Michael Leibowitz, his was go big. I'd go bigger. Yeah. And so it's, oh, wow. Yeah. Why wouldn't I? Yeah. What's stopping me? Well, I'm the only one stopping me. Really.
100%. That's there's some block, and it's usually fear of failure, an imposter syndrome of some guy. There's something. All the coaches and all the therapists in the world could tell me about all these some things. There's a little guy on this shoulder, they're all there. But I think letting go of that and just realizing that there's really not that much to be scared of.
Right.
In the world in which what we do, we're not curing cancer. We're doing something if you have an opinion, you can say it. You can.
But we are
something.
we are impacting the future by giving, by unlocking figuratively and literally someone's future.
Yes.
So
someone's security, someone's vibe. Yeah, it's incredible. But yeah, I think too much hesitation based in fear.
Very good. Well, we share admiration of a motivational speaker, and that is Zig Ziglar, of course. So I always like to end with a positive quote, right? Leave on a high note.
I love it.
So we've certainly enjoyed having you with us today, Melissa, and we look forward to you coming back for future episodes. And so, yes, we're going to end with Zig Ziglar, and there's two quotes that work together. So I've kind of combined them into one. In the game, Zig Ziglar says, in the game of life, before you get anything out, you must put something in. It's not what you've got, it's what you use that makes the difference. So once again, it's in the game of life, before you get anything out, you must put something in. It's not what you've got, it's what you use that makes all the difference.
I love it. My dad, as I mentioned, big Zig Ziglar fan. He has his own kind of riff on exactly that quote. It's the Richard True version of Ziglar, and it sticks in my head every day. He always said to me, Melissa, if you do the things you have to do when you have to do them, then you can do the things you want to do when you want to do them. So it's fun.
That's awesome. Yeah. And to build on that, my favorite Zig Ziglar quote of all time, you will always have what you want in life if you help give enough other people what they want.
So true. It's a good one.
So with that, thank you, Melissa True of Christie's International Real Estate Group here in New York City. I'm your host, Eric Zollinger of Realty Co., reminding you it's a great day for real estate. The Agent Brew podcast is brought to you by Realty Co. Realty Co. is your partner in real estate, bringing you game-changing benefits and services to empower your business. Visit realtyco.com for more information.